Hey, how's it going everyone? It's Anthony from paintthemoon.org, bringing you guys a video review that is well overdue at this point. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Magic Flight launch box, and this is a pretty old vaporizer, and in fact this was the first vape I ever used a few years ago. However, with that said, it's 2016 and the market is rapidly growing and evolving. Many new products have come out since the release of the launch box, so that pardons the question, is this still a viable vape for 2016 and onwards? Well, to answer that question, let's break down the MFLB into a few categories so we can look at each feature of the Magic Flight separately and see how well this unit has aged over time. Okay, to give you guys an idea of how this review will be conducted, I'm going to lay out exactly what we're going to be looking at. So in this review, we're going to be looking at the vapor path, the temperature control, the oven capacity and efficiency, the vapor quality, the build quality and portability, the battery life, and the cleaning process. If you've already seen some of our reviews, this should be nothing new to you and you'll have no problem following along. So with all that said, let's get right into the review and talk about the vapor path of the Magic Flight launch box. For starters, the unit is really simple. It's mostly a hollow wooden box with a glass mouthpiece, a metal conductive screen, that's actually how your material is vaporized, and then it has a simple acrylic lid that just kind of slides back and forth into place that lets you open it and load it and clean it and all that. In my opinion, the vapor path of this vape is better than most offerings in the sub $150 range. There's no plastics or anything funny in the vapor path, and while the wood does have a distinct flavor, I think it's much better than the vapor passing through harmful plastics, gaskets, electronics, stuff of that nature. Now, the vapor path with the included glass mouthpiece is longer than other vapes on the market like the X-Max V2 Pro, and I find this vapor path produces much more enjoyable flavor than other vapes in this budget range. Temperature control is an interesting topic to talk about regarding this vape. Reason being, this is completely a manual vape, and your technique is the temperature control with this vape. In general, a slower draw will build more heat and give you larger and hotter hits. Drawing faster will give you much airier hits that are cooler and less potent. I found the best way to use the MFLB was by either drawing very slowly, so slow that you can barely hear air being pulled through the vape, or B, there's also the sip method in which you take short 1-second puffs while holding the battery in. What this does is it builds up vapor in your lungs between puffs. Something to note with this method is that you aren't exhaling until you've built a significant amount of vapor in your lungs. Now, if you actually want to adjust like how much power is being given to the Magic Flight, there's also a power adapter which plugs into the wall, and pretty much it goes into the battery compartment of the Magic Flight, no different than the regular batteries. If you're going to be using the Magic Flight as your daily driver, I would highly recommend the power adapter. However, if this is just going to be like a portable unit or something you don't use as much, I would just stick with the batteries personally, as it wouldn't be worth the investment in my opinion. So the oven capacity and efficiency of the Magic Flight launch box is ultimately its biggest strength in my opinion. It works great with an underfilled oven, and it also works outstandingly well with a full oven as well. For starters, you can load as little as you want, up to about 0.3 very finely ground flour. I recommend using a 2-piece grinder or Magic Flight's finishing grinder for a finer grind instead of a 4-piece grinder. If you do have a 4-piece grinder, I would recommend turning it upside down and getting the material as finely ground as possible. I found a fully loaded trench yielded me about 15 to 20 minutes of continuous solo vaping. The amount of hits you get is going to depend on your material, draw speed, draw length, and many other factors, so it's not really a black and white number I can just give you saying you get X amount of hits per load. But on average, expect about 15 minutes per trench. Now all around, I feel the vapor quality of the Magic Flight launch box is kind of where you're starting to see its age and where it's starting to fall behind. The vapor this unit produces is fantastic. I think it tastes great and it goes down really easy. Doesn't really make you choke that much. You can get great clouds, but you really need to dial in your technique to achieve really good vapor production, which is something a lot of people aren't looking to do when they get a new vape. If you're just looking for a unit that produces large amounts of vapor effortlessly, this isn't the portable you're looking for. I would check out the Boundless CF if you're looking for a low-end vape that simply produces a lot of vapor with no effort. The flavor is fantastic, but I don't feel it's an actual representation of the material you put in it. There is a bit of a woody taste present when you use this vape. Like I said, it isn't too overpowering, but it is noticeable, especially if you have experience with high-end vaporizers already. I never found the vapor too scratchy or hot on the throat, even during extended sessions with this vape. Even when I dial my technique in and get some clouds, I find this vape never really gets me coughing, which a lot of vapes do as an asthmatic. So what do I like about the vapor quality? It tastes pretty good for a low-end vape, and also it's really smooth. I'm not too big a fan of the vapor production, especially considering the fact that if you want to get very good amounts of vapor production, you really need to dial in your technique. And I feel a lot of people just nowadays aren't looking to kind of sit down and learn and master a device like this. If you are that kind of person though, however, this is a fantastic vape and I highly recommend it to you. Now let's talk about the build quality and portability of the Magic Flight launch box. First of all, this thing is simple, and that's why I still love this thing. I'm a sucker for wood designs. I think they look elegant, and I love the durability that is typically associated with vapes constructed primarily out of wood. There isn't too much to go wrong with this little box, and if anything does go wrong, you should be happy to hear that Magic Flight has one of the best warranties, if not the best warranty in the industry. Magic Flight offers its customers a no questions asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for a vape that's backed by a company that takes care of their customers, this is a great purchase. The box itself is really portable, but if you're going to be out for a long day, you're probably going to have a pocket full of batteries, which is something you should consider if you can't be carrying around a lot of stuff like batteries while on the go. Now let's talk about the battery life. This vape uses replaceable batteries, which is a big plus in my book. You can pick up a couple and bring them with you, so you know you'll have enough power to get you through a long day of vaping. I found each battery lasts about 3 full trenches, and they each take about 3 hours to fully recharge. Ultimately, I hate the charge time for the batteries, and I highly recommend picking up extras so you don't find yourself sitting around waiting for your batteries to charge up. Finally, let's talk about the painfully simple cleaning process. First of all, the screen just simply needs to be brushed off after every use, with the included little brush. Don't be lazy, do it every time, please. If you find your screen getting gunked up, it's because you're not taking the time to maintain it properly. The only parts of the vape that needs to actually be cleaned are the lid and mouthpiece. The mouthpiece can simply be soaked in isopropyl alcohol, and the lid can simply be wiped off with a paper towel dampened with alcohol. Overall, the unit's super simple to clean, and it isn't much of a hassle for you to do if this is your daily driver. To summarize the review, I'm going to break down what I like and don't like into a short and concise pros and cons list. Let's start with the pros. First of all, the Magic Flight is very affordable. This is one of the best budget options on the market. I love the outstanding build quality and warranty. Also, the fact that this is a very small and compact design is a huge plus. And I never complain about having replaceable batteries. Now the cons, the stuff I don't really like so much. First of all, I'm not a fan of the technique needed for optimal vapor production. Also, I don't like the very, very fine grind you need. For the best results, you want the Magic Flight finishing grinder, which is an additional purchase. Also, the batteries take a long time to charge, which I don't like when I run out of all my batteries and I'm sitting around waiting for my vape to charge. I just want to use it, and I wish it had a kind of faster charging technology. So to answer the question, is this a viable vape for 2016? Yes it is, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. If you're someone who enjoys learning how to use something, and the gratification that comes with mastering something, I think there's a great experience here waiting for you if you're that kind of person. Likewise, if you're looking for a vape that's great for on-demand hits and microdosing, the Launchbox has you covered for that. However, I think most people will be leaning towards vapes like the Boundless CF, as new vapes are coming out in this price range that really give the old champions like the Magic Flight Launchbox a real run for their money. Most people, I feel, don't want to learn how to use their new vape, they just want it to work out of the box, and the Magic Flight Launchbox isn't one of those vapes if that's what you're looking for. So I guess that just about wraps up this review. If you like this one, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Also, be sure to check out our website paintthemoon.org for full written reviews and comparisons of all of today's popular vaporizers. So with all of that out of the way, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you all next time. Peace, guys.